Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies. Welcome to today's class. I hope you're feeling fine and you're okay. And our topic of discussion today, we are going to talk about how to use data and insights to help your business grow. Remember, this training session has been brought to you by Africa 118 in partnership with Google Digital Skills for Africa. My name is Winnie, so I will be your trainer for today's class. My moderator is Elia, and I can see we already have responses on the chat comment section. So please let us know your name and where you are joining us from. So if you're joining us from Nakuru, from Kisumu, even as we give a few moments for the rest of the people to join the class, I can see we have Dial Apart. Good afternoon. How are you doing this chilly afternoon? I can see we have Holy Land excursions. Good afternoon to you too. I hope you're doing well and welcome to the session. So like I said, my moderator is in the comment section. So if you have any questions, you want to give us feedback or you want clarity on any bit of the session, I'll be able to see your responses on the comment section and respond to them. And my moderator will also be able to do the same. I can see we have Angel from Kigali. Yes, I know today we are also having participants from Rwanda. So welcome on board, and I'm joining you from Nairobi City. So good to see you guys. I know you are. It's 3:30. 3:30. No, 2:30. It's 2:30 there in Kigali, but on this other side we are an hour ahead at 3:34. So I know as businesses you're always collecting data. So today we want to learn what kind of data is actually important to us as business people, and what do we do with the data once we collect that. So that is going to be the direction we are going to take for the session. And let us put this session as engaging as it can be. Just put your questions up there. I'll be able to respond. So the agenda of today's class, like I said, is one, we want to know which are the right questions to ask, because once we have the right questions to ask, we'll be able to know what kind of data we need to actually collect for our businesses. Secondly, we are going to identify what are some of the best tools that we can use in the market, and also understand how can we analyze the data that we have gotten. So before we even sail the high seas, let's begin by just reminding ourselves that we have a free bootcamp that is available from Google. So if you are a small business and you think it is time that you want to sell, so please sign up on the Google Hustle Academy, and you'll be able to have a chance to participate in a week-long bootcamp. And there's a range of topics that you are going to learn. As a range of topics that we're going to learn, all the way from digital marketing up to you're going to learn how to create pitch decks rather, and you're also going to learn about finances and even how to draw your business growth plan. So those are just a few of the topics that you're going to learn on the bootcamp. So if that is something you think you would want to participate in, there's an opportunity for you, and it's a free bootcamp, just to say that. So just a quick one. What words do you think you use to describe your customers? For example, let's have one word comments. So how would you describe your customers? Are they amazing? Are they fantastic? Are they cooperative? Which word do you think you'd want to describe your customers with? So let me see two comments before I proceed with the class. But let me say hi to Kali. You're joining us from Rwanda. Where exactly in Rwanda are you joining us from? Let us know. I can see we have Ahmed. Ahmed, good to see you here. Yes. We are glad to host you, Ahmed. We are really glad to host you, Ahmed. And then we also, I can see we have Sustain from Kigali. Okay, you are able to hear me. That's fantastic. Yes, if you have any a bit that you're struggling with, just communicate and I'll be able to get that as well. You can see my moderator has shared the link for the Hustle Academy Bootcamp, and also she has shared the attendance list. Remember, we just want to see who was in the session. So have a chance to just take a moment and fill in the attendance list. So all right. Thank you so much. All right. Oh, from Kigali. Thank you, Kali. Good to see you. I can see a number of us are joining us from Kigali. So, like I said, probably which words do you think you would use to describe your customers? Do you think they are loyal? I can see, Holy Land, you're saying your customers are loyal. So, that is a phrase that you'd want to describe your customers with. Let me see if we have any other comment. Do you think your customers are fantastic? Do you think they're troublesome? Do you think your customers are troublesome? Probably not. Maybe just one or two. Yeah. Yeah, but we are here for our customers really. So I don't think they should be troublesome. Anyway, so proceeding with the class, yes. So having just seen, or when as you reflect on how do you think you describe your customers, it's very, very important to understand the questions that are important for you to ask as a business. And this is where I'd want to also hear from you. What questions would you want to ask your customers? For me, probably my question would be, how do they feel about my product? So if I had a business and I want to ask my customers, that would be my go-to question. How do they feel about my product? So, what is yours? What is your question to your clients? Probably, if you had a chance to ask them a question, which one would you want to ask them? Yes, so just post your question. I'll be sampling them even as we proceed with the class. All right, so let's now go and delve further into the class. So really, just before we even get to know what kind of questions that are important for us to ask, it's very, very important to understand the process for analytics. Where do you begin from and where do you go to? And our primary or key or fundamental bit is be what is your objective as a business, and then we are going to know what question do I need to address, because your objectives will inform the kind of questions you want to get answers to. And then where do you get that information from? Okay, now you have your questions, now you have your objective, but how do you get answers to that question? And finally, what do you do, or how do you deduce important aspects for the information that you have collected from your clients? So let's get started with process number one, which is your objective. So your objective could be a range of things, really. It could be you want to ask your clients to just tell you more about your business. What do they think about your business? One of your objective could be you want to sell more about your product or your service. It could be you just want to see who is your most valuable customers, who tends to give you money or who tends to be the most influential of your customers. So you want to identify that. And probably another objective could be you want to find ways to engage with repeat customers. Yes, so you want to know, okay, once you've come back, I want you to come again. So how do I engage with you to make sure that you come back again to my business? So that is the first bit, which is the objective. Then we go to the second bit, which is the question. So now you know the objectives that you want to go for. So what is the question that you need to address? All right, so now these are just some types of the question. Remember, the list is not exclusive. There could be other questions that potentially you want to ask that are outside the scope of this presentation, which could be, it could be who is my target audience and how do I reach them online? That could be a question. Or how are they finding what they need? So when they come to you and you've sold that service and you've sold that product, are they really finding a solution to their problem? It could be, are they booking, for example? So you put out your business out there. You want to know, are they booking really, and are they coming back really? So how do you structure your question? You use the RIN structure. So the RIN structure is reach. So R is for reach, and then engage, and then activate, and then nurture. So that is the structure you use to structure your questions literally, so that you even know before we even proceed to the kind of tools that you potentially want to use. So moving on, and to just give you a bit of perspective, we are going to come back to the ring structure to just explain it further in the subsequent bits of today's class. So don't get alarmed. We are going to go into that. So let us just look at the process, and then we are going to go to each step to identify exactly what that really means or entails. So where do you get this information from? Yes. So now you have identified what is your objective, which question do you need to ask. So potentially your objective is just to have repeat customers, and you're wondering, how do I maintain the repeat customers? And lastly, you want to know, how do I get that information? How do I even know who are my repeat customers? For example, if you have an online business, how do you know exactly who is your repeat customer, and who is the most valuable? Yeah, probably it could be and they buy, let's say, in large scale, or they are your most influential customers online. All right, so this is how some of the ways you get that information. One, it could be on your social channels. So potentially some of the ways you can look at it is just trying to see which kind of content are your users engaging with, and some of the ways to evaluate that is the number of views you're getting, the number of likes, it could be follows or shares. So if I did put a post up there, a video, or how is it performing so far? Some of the channels, it could be on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. So these have really very strong reporting features. And another way could be organic search. So organic search, it could be how are people looking for you and for your business. So this way you can get this traffic. One way it could be from your website, or it could be another way. It could be, let's say, from your Google business profile. I also have your website also standing on its own. This is where you can identify your page views, and you can also try to see which bit of your website are the users dropping off or disengaging, which is the most popular page of your website. And lastly is on paid search. So for example, if you are running a campaign, whether it's on Google Ads or it's on social media, for example, you'll be able to gather data. Like for example, how many people interacted with that campaign, what was the audience type on, and probably what were they looking for. And lastly, on the number 4 bit is, what do you do with the information? So we are not just collecting information. So how do you deduce that information for it to mean meaning? So these are some of the ways you can use that information. Probably is for you to learn market trends. For example, you want to learn how is Rwanda performing vis-a-vis Kenya. So if you have products that probably you have been thinking, let me export these products to Kenya. So you want to learn, are they even popular in Kenya to begin with? Are they even being looked for in Kenya? Another way, it could be just to understand your user experience. Let's say, for example, in terms of your website, you want to see which page of my website are the users dropping for, dropping off. So you want to understand specifically what's happening in that page, and what is it, why is making the bounce rate in that page very high. Content marketing, so that the data you have collected could really shape your content marketing strategy. For example, you've run a campaign, you have seen the people who are interacting with your campaign are from the age of 18 to 35. So you want to make your conversation into that bit. So like for example, today I was just having a conversation with a client that we had run Google Ads for. So from the analytics of that advertising, we found out that most of the popular days that people were actually looking for the business online was on Saturday, Sunday, and on Wednesday. So as I was talking to the client was like, "Oh, I'm very shocked. Actually, people are looking for my business on Tuesday." Actually, yeah, it was on Tuesday. So the client was very shocked that people actually look for my business on Tuesday and not Wednesday. So the client thought that people actually look for his business online on Wednesday. Why? Because since he's a restaurant, he usually has offers on Wednesday. So according to him, he imagined Wednesday would be a popular day because he usually has offers for the meals on Wednesday. But when we did check the statistics, it was different. Actually, Tuesday was actually the popular day. So the client was like, "Oh, so I need to find a way to balance that information. Probably I could try to see if I can be doing my offers on Tuesday now that more people seem to be looking for my business on Tuesday and not Wednesday as I thought." So that's also, so you can see when he's doing his content marketing on his social media, he would want to do those promotions on Tuesday because from the Google Ads that we ran, he was able to see that actually Tuesday is a popular day for his business and not Wednesday as he had previously thought. Yeah. And lastly, how do you adapt your strategy? So you can see, like for this particular client today that I was talking to, so now he was thinking, how does he adapt his promotion to maybe shift the promotion to Tuesday rather than having it on Wednesday? Now that he has seen it's actually on Tuesday that people are looking for the business and not on Wednesday. So probably he'd want to adjust his strategy to just fit the kind of data that he has collected. So before we even sail the high seas of the Atlantic. So if you have any questions, this is the time for you to actually put it in the comment bit. I'll be able to sample that even as we proceed. But before that, let me have a look at how our comment section is looking like. I can see oh, hi, Dr. Bis. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hello, and how are you? I can see we have class measures. Um, a good afternoon. I can see we have Winners Rwanda, and I can see we have Her Majesty. Thank you so much, my moderator. All right, so good to see you people. So if you have any questions at this segment, before I transition to the next bit, this is a chance for you to ask those questions and get answers to them terms of your digital marketing journey. So even as I wait for your questions, I'll probably just transition to the next bit. So now that we know the kind of questions we need to ask, we know uh, where to get that data from, and finally, what will some of the conclusions we can derive from the data. Let us now narrow our target or now our conversation to the tools. So probably right now, if you are using any analytics tools, I'll just share with me in the comment section. Which one are you using so far? If you are on social media, if you have a website, what exactly, which tool are you currently using? And all right, so just to get us started, if you are on social media, it's very important to make sure that you are using the analytics tool on social media. It could be on Twitter, it could be on Meta, this day, or Facebook rather, or alternatively, it could be you could be using Hootsuite. Hootsuite is also one tool that you can use. It can help you apart from just helping you to post in your posting. It can also help you to collect data. All right. All right. Just a moment. Let me just fix something. I can see there's a bit of, let's see. Good to hear, sending love from Kenya. All right. uh, all right. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can see Rwanda is well represented. So thank you so much for that. Remember, we have an attendance list. So please, okay. All right, Eric Odhiambo, your sentiments are noted. All right, so thank you for that. So if you are not able to hear me at any point, just stop me. I'll be able to see your comment and I'll be able to fix that as soon as possible. So let's proceed with the class. So we are talking about tools. So when it comes to organic search, you could be using your Google Search Console or you could be using your Google My Business profile. And I believe all of us in today's class. So we are back. We are back online. Keto Safari, it's good to see you. Always glad to have you on board every Thursday. So thank you so much for being here. And then we have on your website, like I said, we have Google Analytics, very, very important, can help us to collect data on our website. And finally, for our paid search, we have Google Ads. So those are the tools that we can be able to use and measure. Remember, they're not exclusive. The list could be bigger than what we have on the screen, but definitely I'd suggest some of the tools. So let us look at a bit of that. So now when it comes to your Facebook insights or meta as would want to call it as currently, so Facebook page insights really help you to know what people are engaging with and how they are finding you. So that Facebook page insights will show you the activity, what are your page views, what are the likes, the reach. Like for example, the followers. If you had 400 followers and probably they went down to 300 this month, you'd be able to know that, and particularly which month are they dropping, and then you can be also able to adjust. One important thing to also remember is for you, before, especially on the Facebook page, before you are even eligible to get any insights, you need at least 100 followers. So if you are just starting out your page, it's very important to make sure that you grow your following to at least 100 people before you'll be able to see any insights on your page. Yes, so they don't want to give you insights that do not actually represent your holistic nature of your business, let's say by taking insights from 5 followers. So that is why you need at least a minimum of 100 followers before you see any insights on your page. All right, so moving on to Google Search Console. So if you do have a website, I repeat, if you do have a website, very, very important to make sure you have your Google Search Console. So apart from having Google Analytics on your website, it's very important to make sure you have installed your Google Search Console. Why is the Google Search Console important? This is a tool that gives you reports on your search traffic, on your organic search traffic. Remember, Google Analytics will be able to collect data, not just organic, but on the paid. Let's say you are having Google Ads on it, it will be able to collect that data as well. You can also collect from your social media, example Facebook, and have all that data in the Google Analytics. But if you want to evaluate your organic search on your website, make sure you do have a Google Search Console. So just go to Search Console, search.google.com or Search Console, and then you'll be able to install it in your website. So some of the benefits of us having the Google Search Console, number one, just from giving you your organic search traffic and performance, it will be able to fix issues here and there on your website to make sure that your search is performing well in the Google search results. So on the basic SEO bit, yeah, it will be able to fix issues here and there to just make sure that you are ranking right on the Google search results. Another thing, it will also be able to show you which queries are bringing users to your site. So which phrases are people using to come to your website? It will also able to show you your site impressions, the clicks on your website, and what is your position on the Google search. So even before you transition to your SEO, the Google Search Console will be able to tell you where exactly are you ranking on the Google search. Additionally, you can be able to submit your sitemaps and your URLs for crawling. So what does that mean? So it will review your index coverage to make sure that Google has some of the freshest view of your site. So every time you submit, Google will be able to have a chance to have the most dated view of your site. You will also receive emails and alerts on issues on your site. For example, if you have a broken URL on your site, you'll be able to receive emails telling you this URL is broken on your site and this is how you can potentially fix it, just giving you suggestions here and there of how you can fix that. So really, it's not just enough to have your website. It's very important to make sure that you are evaluating the performance of your website, and one such way is having your Google Search Console. So I know after this class, all of us are going to have Google Search Console on our websites to just review the organic search traffic, to review if there are any issues, if there are any broken links, and which position are we ranking on the Google search results. All right, so that's it with the Google Search Console. So if you are thinking, where do I begin from this? Just go to Google Search Console and then sign up and put in your URL. They'll ask you for authentication. Yes, if you're struggling with the authentication bit, you can just ask your developer to give you the needed information you need to input for Google to verify that you are the actual owner of that website. And then from there, you can now leave it to Google to collect data for you. All right. So now to another tool that we can use is the Google Business Profile. And one way you can use the Google Business Profile, number one, it will show you how many views your listing is having. So let's say this month, how many people came to your site. It will also show you have the numbers dropped or they're going higher. So if you had a negative, it will show you the percentage is a negative. If you've had more people coming to your site this month than last month, the number will show as a positive. It will also be able to show you how and where your customer are finding your listing. So very, very important. Don't assume you know where all your clients are. So sometimes it's good to just use these tools and get the actual area that your clients are coming from. And then once they come to your profile, what action are you taking? You will see this in the activity bit. So if you check your Google Business Profile, you'll be able to see on the activity, did they call? Did they look for directions? They just browse the listing and drop off? So you can be able to see that. And also other interactions, for example, if you have any reviews, if you had people, let's say you've connected your listing to your website, if you had people moving from your listing and going to your website, you'll be able to see that as well. All right. And then to another exciting tool called Google Trends. So very, very important. So imagine you are selling leather products. Or let's say you are selling nuts and you have been thinking of exporting those nuts. You're not sure which country you want to export to. Potentially, you say, I want to grow bigger than Kenya. Probably, I've heard that in Rwanda, nuts are people eat nuts. So now, how do I know potentially which area would be convenient for me to sell to? Or let's say you want to export to the US. The US is it has 50 states to begin with. So which state will you export to? You are asking yourself probably that question, and you're wondering, how do I even get to know? So this is where the Google Trends come in. So Google Trends will be able to show you the popularity of a search term. So let's say you are selling macadamia nuts. You want to see how popular they are in the US. You can be able to search. You'll be able to see the trends. Google Trends will also show you, for example, how that search term has been performing over months. So you can be able to see, let's say in December it goes down, in January it goes up. So you'll be able to know, okay, so December is a low season and January is a high season for macadamia nuts. All right. So remember, you can also just narrow that down. Let's say you want to check overall in the US, but you also want to narrow that down to a particular state, for example, you can be able to do that. So it can also, if you use the daily trend. So let's say you want to check on a daily basis what's happening. So now use the daily trends bit. It's a very simple tool to use. Just go to Google Trends and then you'll be able to just key in any keyword. You'll be able, so if you have a chance throughout the session, I can be able to show that. If you don't, we can have a follow-up session and I'll be able to just demonstrate to you exactly how the Google Trends works. All right, so it can help you just search any activity or phrases, and can also help you in your keyword research, for example. So you're wondering, how are people finding my business, potentially which keywords should I be using? So you can use Google Trends, key in, it will be able to show you how the particular keywords are performing, and then you can be able to take those and put them, let's say in your content marketing, for example, strategy. It could be on your website, on your social media, whichever platform you use. All right, so just going through the Google Trends, like I said, you can also be able to monitor competition. And also keyword research, like I said, you can be able to find the necessary keywords that I potentially you should be using, let's say in the description of your products, and also just see how seasonal a brand is. And then you can be able to search the topics via specific regions. So how do you begin on Google Trends? Just go to Google Trends, and then from there you just use your Google account and you'll be able to use that. And then to Google Analytics, I have been mentioning Google Analytics. So let's get started on it. So Google Analytics, for example, so this one will help you to understand your site and app users. So if you have an app for your business, you can be able to track the performance of that app with your Google Analytics account. So this can also help you to, let's say, see your marketing efforts. For example, you've run Google Ads, and potentially you have seen, okay, I have these views, I have these clicks, but you want to see if your website visits did increase. How will you find that out? Is by using Google Analytics, because Google Analytics will be able to show you how that has been looking like. Let's say from last month to this month, how is your ad performing in terms of visits. You'll be able to see if you have the rate of your retention. So, okay, normally you have 1,000 people visiting your website every month. How many of those are repeat clients or repeat visitors? So now, once you know, like for example, let's say 30% of that are repeat visitors. So it means these are people who interact with your business not just once, but different times. So you'd want, let's say, to do retargeting to this repeat clientele. So when you're doing conversion based, let's say Google Ads, you'd want to target these people who are repeat visitors to your website. So the only way you will know which is even the right audience to target is if you have installed Google Analytics account. So if you have a website, make sure you have two tools. One is the Google Analytics, and secondly is the Google Search Console. So these are the tools that will help you in tracking the performance of your website. Another way or unique insights that can be able to learn. Remember, Google Analytics uses machine learning, so it will be able to give you a database. You can trust. Listen, let me just say you can trust the data that the Google Analytics will be giving you. And also, like I said, you can also track data, let's say from your social media, let's say how much traffic, let's say you are running Facebook ads, for example, or you are running Insta ads. So you want to see, and the purpose of your advertising is to bring people to your website. So you want to see how many people came to your website from your social media. So how will you see that? You connect your social media to your Google Analytics, then Google Analytics account will be able to give you that data, like how many people came from your social media sites to your website. And also, like I said, the performance also, let's say if you run Google Ads campaign, you can be also able to track that. So before we proceed, does anyone have a question before we continue sailing? Before we continue sailing, yes, I can see my moderator is really doing a good job. See Joe Kamau from Wachaka Group. Are you? Thank you so much. Uh, Holy Land excursions, please elaborate further. What exactly is a plugin? Which bit is it? Are you talking about Google Search Console? Are you talking about analytics? So which one are you talking about? So let me know so that I can be able to give you an appropriate answer. So just write that down for me, and I'll be able to look at it and give you an informed answer. So thank you so much for that. So now we go to understanding the data that we have. So even so, Holy Land excursions, both Google Analytics and the Google Search Console, they are not plugins. They're just independent tools that you connect to. Once you input the link of your website, they automatically connect data. But we are going to learn, there's a bit in Google Analytics where you need a code. So that code is what you input. Let's say you want to track traffic from a specific page of your website. So you need a code. And for that code, you need the help of your developer, or if you know how to look through your website on the back end, you can be able to also input that. So let's delve into the Google Analytics account. So where do you begin from? And number one, to set up your Google Analytics account, you need to go to the analytics.google.com. So I wouldn't want to do this demo because I'll need your website. And once I put the URL, I'll need credentials to that. And right now, I do not have credentials to an individual's website right now. But just know, go to googleanalytics.com, name your account. So it's very, very important. So if you have multiple accounts, remember you can have multiple accounts because you could be tracking different kind of data. So name that account to the name that is convenient for you. Choose your industry category. So why is it important to choose an industry category? This will help you to benchmark against others who are in the same industry. So of course, this is anonymous, yes, but it will give you an idea of also what is your bounce rate vis-a-vis your competitors in the market. So you want to know how do you rank in terms of your peers? And are you doing badly? Are you doing well? Do you need to improve? Do you need to maintain? Or where do you need exactly to adjust? So just go to googleanalytics.com. open an account, and once you have your account, make sure you choose the right category to your account. So if you are having a bit of trouble and you're wondering where do I begin, you can go to Google Analytics Academy with your Google account, and you can be able to take their a free course just to learn how to navigate your Google Analytics account. All right, so once you have that, so this is what I was talking about when it comes to your tracking code. So imagine you have a 10-pager website, but you want to track how the checkout page looks like, or you want to track how the About Us page is performing. So how will you instruct the robots to know which page exactly do you want them to track? Remember, they'll still track the overall performance of your website, like for example, how many visits do you get per month. But if you want specific data, like for example, I want to know how my checkout page is performing, then you will need a code. So the Google account will generate a code for you, and then that code, with the help of your developer, you can be able to have that installed in your website, and then you can be able to collect data. So if you had thrown away the number of your developer, it is very important right now to make sure you are in touch of your developer, or have them train you to do that yourself. So you can have them train you to do that yourself, or have them do that for you. So where do you find the tracking code? All right. So when you are having your website, for example, it's just you'd be adding. It's just like an ID, really. It's just an ID. So, for example, you could be tracking this page differently, the other page differently. So each ID will direct Google to know this ID is for checkout page. This ID is for about us page. Probably this ID I want to if I am selling multiple products, and probably electronics are in page 15, so I want to track for electronics page, I can be able to know that. So this is the data I am collecting from the electronics bit. Yeah. Some of the main areas of reporting is who are your users. So Google Analytics will be able to give you that perspective of who are your users, how are they finding you or your business or your website. Very important to know. So that will also give you, and what do they do when they come on your website. So do they land to the About Us page? And probably if, let's say, you are an e-commerce client, so they land in the About Us page, potentially they look through your products, and then they drop off at the checkout page. So you are saying, okay, fine, I have 1,000 visits on the About Us page, and then when it gets to checkout page, I only potentially have 10. So what's happening on my checkout page? And also, are they completing the goals you want to track? So for example, you want to track the number of conversions in terms of the product. So you want to say, is product X being bought actually? So Google Analytics can help you to track that. So for conversions to work, really, you need to set goals that traffic specific actions. So action could be clicked. If they click on that product, or if they check out that project, you want to look that as a conversion. So you need to set up specific instruction that for you, you mark that as a conversion. So data in Google Analytics, remember we have two bits. It could be in the dimensions, or it could be in the metrics. So the dimensions could be, let's say, the phrases or what exactly, or the channel. And then the metrics is the new numbers. So the numbers here mean the new users are coming, the recurring users, the sessions. Yes, so that is how you use Google Analytics to track the performance of your website. Remember, this is a very, very important tool, not just tracking the organic, but also in terms of, like I said, you want to track from social media to your website, you want to track a specific page, you want to track a certain conversion. So let's say you're running ads, you want to track a certain conversion. That's how you use Google Analytics to be able to track. So even if we do, for example, if we do Google Ads on your site, but you do not have a Google Analytics, so the only information you'll be able to learn is potentially what are some of the views, the number of views, the number of clicks. But for example, you'll not be able to learn the conversions that you're getting. So if you do not have Google Analytics and you have campaigns running on, you are doing a disservice to yourself. All right. So, like I said before, this concept, the RIN concept, I remember I said I'll be coming back to it to just have a conversation on it. So, Rich. So, these are how you track what are the right questions for you to ask as a business. Remember, we have looked at the tools. So, now we know which tools goes where. Now we want to track how the questions that we need to ask this tool so that it collects the right data for us. So number one is reach. So reach is what are for the RIN concept. So what is reach? Reach could be you want to identify the search terms that are driving organic traffic to your site. You want to look at how to improve links from your social media platforms, or how you want to develop relationships with the referral websites to just more drive more traffic to your site. So for example, you could have partnered with another site so that are also bringing you traffic to your website. All right. So most of the time you are just, when it comes with the R, you are just trying to find out how people are finding you online. So how are they engaging with you? You want to learn which pages of your website are not getting any views whatsoever. You also want to see what is really engaging. So potentially you want to see which is the most popular page in my website, and how are people interacting, what is making people like that particular page. So potentially you want to see if that is something you'd want to replicate on the other pages, so that they're also likable the way this page that people are engaging with like. So, for example, you could see you're losing a lot of people on the payment edge, for example. So, maybe you need to simplify a bit of your payment systems to make sure that they're seamless, so that when somebody comes to your payment page, they're not really struggling to make a payment until they just decide, I think I'm done here. Let me just look at the next service provider. And then when it comes to activate is the channels that are bringing you the most bookings. So you want to know which channels are bringing you the most bookings. So for example, is this: you have run a campaign, so you have a Google Ads campaign, you have a Facebook Ads campaign. So potentially you're trying to see which of the campaigns did bring me the most value. So now you'll check from your traffic. So how much the social media sites bring, and how much did the search Google search ads bring, and then from there you can be able to determine. I think for me, Google search is working for me than social media. So social media, I will decide to just continue with doing organic and not really invest a lot when it comes to advertising there. Or potentially you have seen most of your traffic is coming from social media, so you want to go further into media buying when it comes to social media, and just work on SEO for your website rather than invest in Google sites. So activate, you will be able to see which channels are bringing you the most traffic, and then see how do you partner with them. So for example, if you see social media is bringing you most traffic, potentially it could be you're working with an influencer and you're seeing they're bringing you the most value when other, in comparison to if you use these other marketing channels. All right, so don't just imagine, or like this is working. Have the data speaks for itself. So this data is what will actually even help you to make informed marketing decisions, so that you know which percentage, which large percentage do I need to put in this campaign, and which percentage do I need to put is in this campaign if I want to do a multi campaign. All right, a multi-site campaign, for example. Then we have nurture. So nurture, it comes to review. Are people giving you reviews on your product? Are you responding to all reviews, good or bad? And probably you want to find different ways you can engage with your customers to give you a review. So you want to look at how you nurture those clients so that they are repeat customers to your business. So like I said, Google Trends, you can do the daily search trends, or alternatively, you could do the real-time search trends. So real-time search trends you are looking at right now. The daily search trends, you're looking at how the day has been really. So just go to Google Trends, do daily search trends, then you'll be able to see what's trending for that day, which particular topic is people talking about. Why is it important? So potentially you could go to Google search trends. Let's say you're not looking for keywords per se, but now based on what is driving the conversation, let's say if that is related to your kind of business, you would want to pick up that conversation now, even as you're creating your contents for, let's say, this particular week. So let's say if you notice this particular week, a lot of people have a conversation on a particular topic. For example, this week you found out, let's say there was a celebrity somewhere, he had a very nice and leather pants, and now everyone is talking about leather pants. So you've gone online, you've seen, oh, so leather pants is actually what people are having their conversation on. So if you are in the business and you are making leather pants, now you want to this week to do more of advertising your leather pants, because number one, that is what people are looking for. Number two, that is what people are actually talking about. So it's not just finding keywords. You could also just, it could also help you to just know the direction that you are also taking your content in your content, let's say calendars or social media sites or whatever you are posting your content on. All right. So seasonal trends, of course, will help you to also know how do you plan your business in terms of what is the high season, what is the low season, so that the days that you have high season, the months that you have already identified, this is usually high season. This will help you to make sure that, for example, you have enough stock to cater for the high season, and for the low season, you also know how do you balance that out. So for example, if you are doing a campaign, so you would want, let's say, on the high season to do a conversion based campaign, and on the low season to do a brand awareness campaign. So you guys, I see you're now seeing exactly why it's important to use these tools. So that can really help. Like for example, right now we are entering the high season when it comes to, let's say, the tourism industry. So right now they are tapping into people, they want bookings. Right now they want bookings. Then even as we go towards December, so this the season is peaking for them. So right now, if they're running campaigns, most of the time they're running conversion-based campaign. But now when the season is going low, when it comes to January, Feb, March, in that time they're just running campaign to do brand awareness, to just let people know, okay, we exist. If you want to go to Tanzania, you want to do safaris on Mount or you want to do hiking on Mount Kilimanjaro, these are the book with us. So when the season is peaking, I already know, so I can book that business when I want to do hiking. I can book that business if I want to go to a safari. So very, very important to make sure you look at the seasonal trends and then decide potentially which kind of campaign do you want to go for a particular season. Like I said, it could help you in keyword research. Yeah, very, very important. So Google Trends will also help you to see, for example, which particular keywords are trending and which one have the most potential. So for example, let's say I went to Google Trends and I did see that handmade leather product is actually the phrase that is trending. So potentially I have been doing my marketing, and all I have been, even in my descriptions, I've been saying I sell leather products, I sell leather bags, I sell leather backpacks, I sell leather pants, or um, leather belts. So you've gone online, you have seen actually the phrase that is trending is handmade. leather bags. And you as a business, you actually do handmade leather bags. So now oh, so this is actually how people are looking for these products. So now in your description, you are doing, you are making leather products, but they are handmade. You want to include that because you have seen that is how people are searching for it online. All right. So even while you are naming your products, you will also try to incorporate that as well, and also optimize your post. So if you're doing your post on your Google Business Profile, on your social media channels, you want to optimize them even with the phrases that are trending, let's say for that particular time or season. All right. So any questions at this point? Let me see. So these are, these tools are so many for us. Probably we need a follow-up season to just go um, deeper to just see how do we use any individual tool. I see Alpha, you're talking to us. You're saying, don't worry, you will have repeats for the same, so you can always be able to uh, thank you so much, Alpha. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's I want to give value to you, so it's good to see that kind of feedback. It's very important. So thank you so much. I can see we have Tiziano. Tiziano, you're welcome so much. All right. Yes. Oh, console. All right. Okay. So yeah, that is not a plugin. It's just a tool that you put in your once you sign up. So just go to Google Search Console. Once you Google that, enter you need to sign in with your Google account. Once you have entered in, you will be prompted to input your link, your URL link for your website. So once you have put the URL link, they will verify it's an actual URL link, and then they will ask you to verify that you are the owner of that particular business. So they will ask you for particular information, and if you can get that information from your developer, or alternatively, if you know how to get that information yourself from your website, you can be able to do that. So it is not a plugin, just a tool that you put in the link of your website and you can be able to collect data. All right. So thank you so much. You feel you've missed a lot? Don't worry, you're right on track. All right. So right now, if we do not have any further questions, I will just put up the free bootcamp that's available from Google. Yes, if you think this is an opportunity, you'd want to learn and just to scale your business, or you've been struggling with creating, let's say, your business growth plan. That is actually topic number one on the Hustle Academy. So if you think that is something you have been struggling with and you think you could use a bit of help, so that it's a good opportunity for you to sign up. So what are our next steps? Our next steps is just go to learndigital.withgoogle.com. Probably if you need further explanation on any of the tools that I have talked about, but always support. Just go, let's say if you're looking for support on Google Search Console, just go support on Google Search Console. You'll be able to see that. If you're struggling with Google Analytics, just go to support on Google Analytics, and then you'll be able to see that. Alternatively, you could just share with us in a comment if you feel we need a follow-up session to just narrow down into the tool by tool to explain the tool from inside the tool. If you think if I'm making sense, or you want a practical, let me say a practical section to learn that tool, communicate that to your DMS. We'll be able to organize a session for you so that you can just go into the part tool that we have talked about today, to just make sure that you also know how to do that as well. I feel probably Google Analytics would give us a bit of trouble, or probably you're having trouble interpreting information on your Facebook page analytics or insights, and you want us to have a practical session on that. We'll organize for that to just give you that experience. So, and lastly, we are social. We are on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram. So, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Facebook, we are at Digital Skills for Africa, and then Twitter and Instagram, it's Digital Skills AF. So, follow us there, give us feedback, and probably if they also post like for example, what they're doing about the SMEs, you can always find that information on that particular page. All right. So at this point, I just want to hear from you. What is your feedback about today's class? Please share that with me so that I can be able to see what you people are saying about today's class even before I close in the class. Remember, do not forget to sign in your attendance sheet. Very, very important. All right. So I'll be waiting for at least two comments for feedback before I close in the class. Let me see if we have any questions that I did not look through. All right, I can see, yeah. All right, thank you, my moderator. All right, Tiziano, thank you so much for that. All right. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. Let me see one more comment. I can see Holy Land, you've given your feedback there. Thank you so much. I appreciate your feedback. So let me have one more feedback and then we can wrap up today's class and see you next week. Potentially, you could also communicate if you want me next week to just look the tool by tool. I can be able to give support to you people in next week's class. So just communicate that and you'll be able. The class was very informative. Thank you so much. So my takeaway for you people is I know all of us, or if not all of us, 99% of us have websites. So how do we assess whether our websites are working for us or not? Is number one, having one, Google Search Console. Number two, Google Analytics. Yeah, so that is my take home for you. So if you've been having a website and you are wondering, how will I ever know if this website is important to my business or if it is working to my business or if I need to maintain it, those are the tools that will help you to have answers to those questions. So thank you so much, Eric. You're saying the class was very informative. So thank you so much. I appreciate your comments. So at this point, I'd like to appreciate all of you for joining today's class. I hope you've learned a thing or two and we are going to implement. We are killing that snake called procrastination. So we are going to sign up the tools. If you're having trouble signing up, reach out to your DMS. They'll be able to help you in signing up to these tools and also help you, let's say for a start, to interpret the data that you are collecting online. Holy Land is saying you need a repeat on this. So I will organize another session and the direction I will take with the next class is just to go to the tool by tool and have a practical feel of it so that we understand. So potentially, I will use your business as an example. So when I will reach out to your DMS so that I can get that information from your business, and then I can be able to use your business as an example, Holy Land. So thank you so much. Have a fantastic evening, and thank you, Elia, for the awesome job you have done on the moderation. So at this point, Rwanda people, I know it's 3:36 p.m. on your side. So have a fantastic evening or late afternoon. If so, on the Kenyan side, we are at 4:36. Have a fantastic evening as well. My name is Winnie. Bye bye.